Greetings YouTube, and welcome back to my channel, Queen Tasha TV. In today's video, I'm going to break down the travel costs and itinerary for my 10-day solo vacation in Costa Rica. So let's get into it. Greetings, I'm Queen Tasha and welcome to my channel, Queen Tasha TV, where I share my very unique and alternative lifestyle from RV life and travel adventures to DIYs, how-tos, healthy living, and sustainability. I want to put a young black face to alternative living and inspire those watching that it's okay to be different and live your own best life. Please subscribe and join me each week on my journey to live fearlessly free. So, let's break down the itinerary and where I spent money in each category. So, when I planned the trip, the flight cost me about $250 through Spirit Airline, but I found the flight on Hopper, the app. And it's an app that tells you like when to buy and who to buy from. It's a very useful app as far as looking for flights. And I booked through Spirit Airlines, which is not my favorite airline, and I will not travel internationally with them again. I'm still debating on that domestic thing, but definitely not international again, because I ended up having a lot of unexpected expenses on this trip. This was supposed to be somewhat of a budget travel, but I was good. So it still ended up being relatively inexpensive. The flight was about $250. I prepaid for my bags, which ended up being $89 to prepay for them for a round trip. And then before the flight, I found out that Spirit changed their bag policy where it wasn't 50 pounds is overweight, it's 40 pounds is now overweight. So if you didn't know that, now you know. And it costs an extra $50 round trip, or each way, to bring my bags on top of the bag fee that I already paid. So I ended up spending almost $200 just for my bag to travel. And then I spent $250 for me to travel, which is insane. So that was some unexpected expenses that I paid, that I took out of the balance of the trip, just to give you a better idea of what I spent on a solo vacation. So $250 on the flight, $89 on the bags, and then I had to get travel insurance to travel to Costa Rica. Right now, you don't have to test or do anything to get into the country. You just have to test to get out. But you do have to have travel insurance if you are not vaccinated. So I got travel insurance because you needed to have travel insurance. And then that was $39. And then I had originally had a different itinerary than what ended up happening when I got there, which I improvised. So I originally was going to go to Tortuguero for 7 days, and then go to La Fortuna for 3 days, and then go to San Jose for 2 nights. That didn't happen because I didn't plan my ground travel ahead of time. So last time I went to Costa Rica in 2018, when I got off the flight, I went through, you know, the customs and all that stuff, and in the airport there was a bunch of like you have your rental car stuff, but then there was like the shuttle buses and all that stuff had little offices there. So I was like, I thought I could do that this time, and it ended up being really cheap for me to take a shuttle bus from the airport to Puerto Viejo and all that stuff, and we set it all up there. And I don't remember how much it cost last time, but I remember it wasn't a lot. So I was like, I'll do that plan when I get there. So I didn't plan that ahead of time, and then I found out when I got to Costa Rica that my whole travel itinerary, or not the whole thing, but it was all gonna have to be redone, because when I got off the plane and I went to go look for that wasn't there anymore. And Tortuguero is actually an island off of the coast of North Limon. So you have to drive there, then you have to take a ferry to the island. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do all that. And I didn't know how to do all that because I didn't have really great Wi-Fi at the airport to really make my travel plans there. So I improvised real quick so that I could get out of the airport. And I went and stayed at the hostel in San Jose that I stayed in when I first went to Costa Rica, which is Stray Cats Hostel. It's a lovely place. The same people work there. And I stayed there for one night. I was able to use the Wi-Fi and I reconstructed a plan. So I said, I still want to go to Limon and I still want to go to La Fortuna. So I just had to figure out where I was going to go in Limon. Last time I went to Puerto Viejo, which was awesome, and I had an awesome time, and I thought about going back, but I was like, I want to go somewhere different. So I looked on the map for the next place in that area that's around there, and I found Cahuita. And then I noticed on the map that that's where the black sand beach is. And last time I was here, somebody was like, did you go to the black sand beach? And I was like, it wasn't near me. And I was like, oh, this time I get to go to the black sand beach. So I booked 6 nights in Cahuita at Cabita Surfside Hotel. And that was lovely. I found out Cahuita is not really like a beach town. It's more of a seaside town. Rocks and sand, and there's a couple, you know, when the tide goes out, there's a couple spots where you can kind of sit and chill, but for the most part you have to walk to each of the beach. But there are 2 beaches to, I guess, the north and south of it. So Playa Blanco was the closest beach, and it was in the national park, and then the black sand beach wasn't that far. It was like a 10-minute walk, 10-15 minute walk to get to Playa Negra, which is where I spent most of my time because it was I love that black sand. Like, it was very exfoliating. I was rubbing it all over me to exfoliate. So I spent 6 nights in Cahuita, and then from Cahuita I took a shared shuttle to the La Fortuna area, and I went to Arenal, which is closer to the volcano and closer to the hot springs, which is why I was going to that area. Pick you up from your hotel and drop you off at your hotel, your next hotel. So I went from Cahuita to Arenal, and I spent 2 nights at a wonderful place called Lumbres Arenal, which was like right next to the volcano, right next to the entrance to the park that you could go and look at the volcano, and it was about a mile from the hot springs. It had just 6 villas. It was on a family land, and then they had, this is similar to what I want to do, like when I have land, is they had the farm, they was doing their whole farm thing on their land, and then they had 6 villas with a pool, and they served breakfast in the morning from the stuff from the farm, like eggs and plantains and cheese that they make. And it was a really nice room. It was definitely an upgrade from the last room that I was at, but it was really nice and affordable. And then I took so I spent 2 nights there, and then I took another shared shuttle that picked me up there, and then it dropped me. It doesn't drop you right at your hotel if you're going to be right in the area where the airport is. It drops you off like at a stop, and then you have to take a Uber to your hotel. And I know why now, because the streets are just like, it's too insane to do all of that. So I took a shared shuttle from Arenal back to San Jose and got a hotel for one night really close to the airport, called Hotel Cortez Azul. And this hotel is kind of like a mishmash of a hotel and a hostel. You get a private room, but there's shared bathrooms and like shared space, like the kitchen and stuff like that. You also get free breakfast from a cafe across the street, and the breakfast was very good. And then I took an Uber from that hotel back to the airport. So it was 9 nights, 10 days. I'll break down. So my accommodation total was $289.24. That included the 1 night at the hostel, the 1 night at the last hotel. So that's 2 hotels or hostels accommodations in San Jose, 6 nights in Coweta, and 2 nights in Arenal. My flight again was $250 to get there. My ground transportation ended up being larger budget than I thought it would be, only because I ended up taking shared shuttles that were a lot more expensive than they were the last time I was there. And if I would have known, I would have did a better itinerary to make sure that I had travel time to be able to take the city bus. So the city bus from San Jose to Coweta was only $7, but the shared shuttle from Coweta to Arenal was $70.14, and the shared shuttle from Arenal back to San Jose was $61.50. And then with Ubers, and I also took like a taxi to go down to Puerto Viejo for 1 night when I was in Coweta. So yeah, my total ground transportation was $195.64. So the total of the trip I'll share at the end, and then also what it would have been if I didn't have those unexpected expenses. So what did I do while I was there? For me, I like to find as many free travel adventures that I can do. And for this trip, this vacation, it was really just to relax and chill. I just wanted to go to the beach. I hadn't been to the beach in a while. And then I wanted to go to the hot springs. So while I was in Coweta, I was basically bouncing back and forth from Black Sand Beach and Playa Blanco. I also took a hike in the national park and saw monkeys, and I saw a sloth on my first day. Like, I was happy about all of that. Just seeing the wildlife right there and going to the Black Sand Beach was enough for me. I got up almost every day to see the sunrise. There's no real sunset view from where we were, so I made the sunrise a point to get up. I did a lot of journaling, some rituals, some ceremonies, and just spent a lot of time at the beach in the water, just getting in and floating and listening to the water. Like, that was just all I needed. When I got to Arenal, I wish I would have had more days there, but I lost a day in travel. And I wanted to try to do everything before I left, and it just was not going to be possible. So I had planned a hike to go to see the base of the volcano, but I could see the volcano from my hotel. And I was like, and the reason why I didn't want to hike was because my toe was just like, my big toes on both feet, but really bad on one foot, was just blistered and hurting from just walking everywhere. and because I did mostly walking. Outside of the ground transportation that I took to get from one place to the next, I walked everywhere. But I mainly wanted to just go to the hot springs while I was in that town, and it's free. It was about a mile walk to get to it, which was a cute little walk, and I just hung out there 2 times. But if I would have stayed longer, I would have did like a horseback ride or just a regular hike to the volcano, and I think it would have cost like $15 to get into the park. The other thing that I did was a mushroom trip for the first time. And thankfully I had that beautiful villa to do it in, and the surrounding around it was just like nature and animals, and like it was like the best place to like have your first trip. And I did it after coming from the hot springs, and I had some lunch, and then I did the mushroom trip. And I I will be doing a live about that on my Patreon of my experience. And then I also have an exclusive video of a recording that I did as I was coming down from a trip before I went to get food. And it's a really funny video, but I'm not going to share it on YouTube. So it's going to be over on my Patreon if you want to see that. Also, over on my Patreon, you can catch the highlight travel adventure video from my Costa Rica trip. But anyways, getting back into it. So basically, I didn't really spend any money to have fun. I had fun on my own for free. And then eating was my next biggest budget. I spent about $350 on food. So I brought a few meals, like a couple packets of oatmeal, a couple packets of noodles that I got from an Asian market, which were so good. I really want to get some more of those. And leftovers if I got dinner. But for the most part, I ate out for every meal. And the food cost there in that town is about the same as here in Florida. It's about $10 to $15 per meal per person. So if you break that down, 9 days, 3 meals a day, really 2 meals. Yeah, I spent quite a bit, but I ate good, honey. They give salad with every meal. It comes with the meal. I ate a lot of fresh, like fish, fried fish, where they take the big whole fish and they fry it up. They give fruit for breakfast. If you get a breakfast meal, there was this cute little vegan restaurant that I went to that I had vegan breakfast there and gluten-free pancakes. Like, it was really dope. Like, I was eating real good, and I haven't really treated myself to eating out. Like, I cook most of all my meals for various reasons, but I'm usually pretty frugal when it comes to going out to eat, like, and what I eat out to eat, because I just don't trust it. But when it's your only option, you have a ball. And I got dressed up for every meal as well. So spent about $350 on food. And then when I got to Costa Rica, I got some duty-free liquor, and I ended up getting 2 bottles of Malibu, which was very ambitious because I came back with 1 whole bottle of Malibu. I don't know why I thought I could crush 2 bottles of Malibu on vacation, but I didn't. And then I was able to, as your girl, you know that I smoke, so I had to get some weed when I was in Costa Rica. I got weed last time I was in Costa Rica, so I knew it was gonna come. And I went out on a walking weed mission, and sure enough, somebody said, "Rasta girl, where you from? You smoke?" And I, boom, weed. I said I bought a half off of him for about $80. So, in 2 different things. I got 2 quarters from him for about $40 each. I got a few souvenirs, this being one of them, on the way back. But I don't really do too many souvenirs. I got this. I got another magnet from Arenal. And I think I got some chocolate or candy. But, like, I really don't do souvenirs like that. This is for my new rig, because I have one that says Pura Vida on the front of the Purple Palace now. So total of the trip with everything included ended up being $1,467.60, which I know doesn't seem like budget travel. But like I said, I had a bunch of unexpected expenses that I didn't properly plan for, or that just was like, really? So if you take away that ends up being about $560 in unexpected expenses. I totaled it. That includes the extra fee for the bags, the ground transportation that I could have avoided. If I would have planned better, I could have taken the city bus and spent way less on ground transportation. I'm really disappointed by that number, but again, I was on vacation. It was nice to be able to get picked up. I had a suitcase and a backpack and a purse. Like, it was just easier to have somebody come and pick me up from my hotel than figuring out, taking a taxi to a bus station. And it just ended up being more convenient, but it did cost me a lot of money to be convenient. So if you take that away, the trip ends up being $907.60 for flight, food, accommodation, drinks, weed, and a really good time for one person on vacation for 10 days in Costa Rica. I visited 3 spots, and I think I did pretty good as far as budgeting. What do you think? If you've been to Costa Rica before, please drop comments below on where your favorite spots were, and do you think that I did well as far as how much I spent for the time that I was there. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace and blessings. I'm out.